This week's Torah portion, Parshat Shmini, contains the sad episode where two of Aaron's sons, Nadab and Abihu, on the first full functioning day of the Mishkan, bring forward an offering, a fire incense offering to the altar that is inappropriate in some way, and they either die or are killed, or their souls go up to heaven. We're in Vayikra, Leviticus chapter 10, verse Aleph, verse 1. Vayikchu b'nei Aaron Nadav v'Avihu ish machtato. The children of Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, each of them took their sort of incense shovel or plate, vayitnu vehen eish, and put a fire on it, vayasimu aleh katoret, and put the incense offering on their pan. Vayikravu lifnei Hashem eish zara. They brought before God a foreign fire, asher lo tziva otam, which had not been commanded of them. Second verse, v'tetzei eish milifnei Hashem v'tochal otam. A fire went out from God and consumed them. Vayamutu lifnei Hashem, and they died in front of God. So what exactly did they do wrong? What is this eish zara, this foreign fire that they offered? Rashi cites two different possibilities. There's actually, in the rabbinic midrashic collections, there's a variety of answers, but Rashi cites two. Rabbi Eleizer Omer, Lo metu b'nei Aaron ela yadei shehoru halacha b'fnei Moshe Rabban. The first answer that Rashi quotes is from Rabbi Eleizer, who says that the children of Aaron died because they cited or taught halacha, Jewish law, in front of Moshe, their teacher. So there's a general rule that we learn out from here that a student should not cite or quote or assert what the law is or states while their teacher is there. And according to Rabbi Eleizer, that's the problem with what Nadab and Abihu did. Answer number two, Rabbi Ishmael Omer, Shtuye yayin nichnasu lemikdash. What's the problem? That they were drunk. They were drunk when they came into the temple. And how do we know this? Rashi goes on, because indeed, when you look a little bit further, the very next, after this episode, the very next passage is the commandment not to drink. That's in, starting with verse 8, Yain v'shechar al tesht ata uvanecha itach b'voachem al oel moed. He's saying to Aaron, you and your descendants, the Kohanim, should not drink wine or be intoxicated in any way when you go into the Holy of Holies. Just into the tent of meeting. So, these two answers are given as to what exactly Aaron and his children did, what the children, Nadab and Abihu, did improperly. Rabbi Eleizer says they taught halacha in front of their teacher Moshe, and Rabbi Ishmael says they were drunk. So these both, though, lead to another question, which is that's not exactly what the text says. The text says, the verse said, as we read, Yakrivu eish zara, they brought a foreign fire. So how is it that the pasuk says they brought a foreign fire, but two of the explanations for what they did don't seem to talk about that specifically? So we're going to look now to the super commentary on Rashi, the Maharal of Prague, the Gur Aryeh, who is going to explain how these explanations make sense with the Pashut Pshat, with the simple understanding of the verse which says a foreign fire. Here is the Maharal. Afagav dekrak tziv eish zara asher lo tziva otam. Even though the verse says that the problem is that they brought a foreign fire, which was not commanded of them, mipnei she'oto eish shehikrivu horo bifnei Moshe Rabam nikra eish zara. It's because the fire which they brought was as if they had, that constituted their articulating what the law was in front of Moshe. Tekevan tehu halacha b'fnei Moshe Rabam, because they brought this, it was as if they were claiming this is the rule, and Moshe was there. Haya oto eish zar lifnei Hashem. Because they brought this fire without asking, and this incense without asking Moshe, it's as if it constituted claiming what the law was. And that's why the verse refers to that fire as foreign, because they did it not through essentially the proper chain of command. They didn't ask Moshe. They didn't wait to see if he thought that was the appropriate way to do it. So they violated this rule of claiming or ruling what the halacha, what the Jewish law is in front of your teacher, and their offering was therefore called foreign. So that is the Maharal's way of explaining the first ruling of Rashi, of Rabbi Eleizer. The second idea that Rashi quotes is Rabbi Ishmael, who says the problem is that they were drunk. Says the Gur Aryeh, the Maharal, Mipnei shahayu shtuye yayin, because they were drunk on wine, haya ha'esh shebiadam zara. The fire in their hands was considered foreign. Lafi shelo haya avodatam avodah, because their service, their sacrificial service, was downgraded, and it's like it wasn't service, it wasn't avodah at all. And then what about the conclusion of that line? She'amar katuv asher lo tzivaotam. They brought fire which had not been commanded of them. Mipnei shahayu shtoye yayin haya ha'esh zara asher lo tziva Hashem. Because they were drunk, the foreign fire they brought was not commanded of them. Lefichach hayu chayavim sreifa. And therefore they sort of incurred upon themselves the capital punishment, which here is being burned. This sreifa, their bodies were fully consumed by fire. Inami, alternately, Shagam Rabbi Eleizer Modeh Shehichnisu Eish Zara. Maybe you could say that the first opinion also agrees that they brought in a foreign fire. Ela Shesover Shemeshum Eish Zara Lo Haya Meitim Pitom Miyad. But he holds slightly differently and says if it was only the fact that they were bringing improper offering, that wouldn't seem to mean that they should have died instantly. Ki kol mita bidei shemayim, because typically speaking, in the rest of Jewish thought, when a person has incurred sort of what we would call heavenly capital punishment, death from above, eino mimaharet lavo kol kach. It shouldn't happen this quickly. Kamo shahaya ba'aleihem, like what happened here to Nadab and Abihu. Ulefikach sover shenichnasu shtuye yayin. And therefore, he believes that the problem must have been that the problem is that they were drunk. V'davar zehu gorem mita pitom. And that really is what caused them to die suddenly. Ke'ein hamikdash sovel hashichrus lafishahu hefech hakadusha. Because the temple cannot handle drunkenness, which the Gur Aryeh says here is the opposite of holiness. Drunkenness is the opposite of holiness, and that is why their drunkenness caused them to die immediately, even though it's possible to say that the real problem was the improper fire that they brought. So two ways of understanding that opinion. So here the Maharal is explained, both according to Rabbi Ishmael and both according to Rabbi Eleizer, how could it be that the real problem was either that they paskint halacha, they claimed to know what the Jewish law was in front of their teacher Moshe, or that they were drunk, and yet the verse itself does not say that. The verse itself simply says they brought a foreign fire, but the Maharal has now explained how, according to either of those opinions, it still makes sense for the verse to say it was a foreign fire that caused them to so tragically be consumed. Always a pleasure learning with you. More next week.